Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is another beautiful day for an episode of Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm, Integrity Roofing and Siding, and the Sabinal Group. We are live once again inside the all-electric Lexus RZ 450e, courtesy of North Park Lexus of San Antonio and North Park Lexus at Dominion. And shame on me for not wearing pink today.
Yes.
I thought of everything. Erin Ercoline is here, the executive director of the ThriveWell Cancer Foundation. Maybe you'll give me a pass because in a moment...
Sure.
We're going to have pink here.
Yep.
I mentioned the car because I do all of my Pickup Lines episodes in this vehicle, right? The Lexus RZ 450e. Thank you very much. And as fate would have it, here, October, I think a lot of people know, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But what ThriveWell has done is pretty cool with my friends at North Park Lexus of San Antonio and North Park Lexus at Dominion. You guys have partnered up together to help each other out this month.
We have, and this partnership goes back almost 10 years now.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we've been partnering with Lexus, and for their Pink October month, a portion of the ticket sales and the service ticket sales come back to our organization, so we help cancer patients here in the San Antonio area with those funds raised. So
and thank goodness there are plenty of Lexus vehicles in San Antonio, so every time one of them goes in for whatever it is.
Yeah.
So funny story about that. The other day I took this car in. I said, hey, I'm here for the oil. I think it's time for an oil change. And they go, Mr. Zuniga, it's an electric vehicle. There's no oil.
I'm getting some kind of something.
Thank you. Yes, as you were.
I'll just pull through.
Right. Just pass through.
Non-wave.
Can you tell I'm a relatively new electric vehicle owner? So yes, this is all electric. So this just in, there's no oil to change in this car. But
good to know.
Enough about me in the car. And by the way, so Lexus, now, on top of everything you just mentioned, they've got some really cool swag.
They do. And so this is a corporate-wide initiative that they do for October. It's all pink all month. And they have some really cool swag stuff that's available in their showrooms.
Okay, I'll let you pass it over here and then we can...
Yep.
Oh, a little skinny little water bottle, if you will.
Yes, very nice.
And these can be purchased at the North Park Lexus San Antonio on Lock Hill Selma and the Dominion location.
Yep.
Beautiful
little pink camo hat. And then we think this is probably some kind of key fob. Yep.
We're going to pull this out here.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's cute.
It's very cute.
Can't deny it.
And it's super pink.
Little key fob to put your Lexus, in here. Let's go with that.
I like that's what we're going with.
Key fob it is.
Yep.
Thank you to our friend Elizabeth Cox at North Park Lexus of San Antonio for hooking us up with all this stuff.
We love you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Very good. So the idea is a lot of things. Raising money for cancer awareness here in October. Raising awareness. I'm really appreciative that you're here because it's a super busy month for you. I mean, all 12 months. It's not like you take a break the other 11 months.
That's right.
How, in practical terms, is October different for you?
So for us, October is super busy because mostly around our fundraising efforts.
Right.
We have 5 super awesome, super fun events going on this month. We're just coming off of a 5K that we did this weekend down at the San Antonio Police Training Academy. We had over 1,000 participants, and it was pink. Pink backs the blue, and the blue backs the pink. And then we have our telethon coming up with Fox SA and News 4 San Antonio. We will be on all day from morning early, 5:30 to all the way through the late time evening news. Just raising money to pump back into San Antonio cancer patients.
So let's break that down a little bit, because obviously I have experience with that.
Yes.
You're doing this on Thursday.
We are.
And this dates back to my late great friend Karen Martinez, who was it 2013 she passed away?
She did.
I cannot believe it's been 11 years.
I know.
But I was there when Karen broke into the TV station and literally worked her way up from a weekend I believe editor. Back when we had tapes, she would edit with the reel-to-reel machines and everything. And that girl worked her way all the way up to she was to the main anchor on the 9 o'clock news. When we started the morning show in 2006, she was one of our first morning reporters. Yeah. This is before she became a 9 o'clock news anchor. And one thing I will never forget, and a lot of people may not even know this, was how many times during her cancer battle, we ultimately lost her to breast cancer, how many times she showed up for work and did the news.
Right. Absolutely.
Did the news.
Absolutely. Yep. With
breast cancer.
Yep.
Going through the hair loss, the chemo, some of the things that I can't even just begin to comprehend.
Yeah. I think, I carry Karen with me like so many do.
Yes.
And whenever I think about how crazy our Octobers are, I think about the challenges she went through and still had the wherewithal and the strength and the internal fortitude to say, I'm going to add something else to my very busy schedule on top of going through treatment, and I'm going to raise money for other people who aren't as fortunate as me. And when you have those kinds of angels with you, it's hard to ever feel like I'm too tired. So she was just amazing.
I remember on mornings when I was doing the show and I was just tired, just like physically tired, or like I don't feel great today. And I would think, well, wait a minute. I mean, she literally did live television, standing up with breast cancer and everything. So it puts it all in perspective.
Totally. Yeah. And she, from that, just the number of families we've been able to help. Right. And it be life extending and life saving because of her.
I think one of her lasting legacies, and as long as Yami Virgen is alive, that she'll continue to champion this too, was the Healing Hearts Gala was created out of all of that, which is a great event that helps raise money. I think the telethon, obviously, at the TV station every year helps with that too. But I know she was helped by ThriveWell because she had 3 young kids at the time, and was going through all that. And let's face it, we weren't necessarily getting rich at the TV station.
That's right. Yep.
So you guys stepped in and helped her.
Yeah, we did. And Karen always told us at the beginning of all this, when she had this idea of, I think I'm going to try to use the platform to have this gala and just see if people will come, and the money will go back to ThriveWell. And she said, I have an employer who will let me off of work to get to my appointments. I have a husband that can get me to all of my appointments. My kids are taken care of. I have insurance. What does the single mom with 3 kids do? And those are the families we help. We step in and become that safety net for folks, but we can only do that because of the generosity and kindness of the people who feel compelled to give back. And so that's what's come out of Karen's legacy and a lot of other families who have gotten behind our organization.
And who among us doesn't know somebody that's been impacted? I've told this, my late mother, before she ultimately died of leukemia, was a breast cancer survivor in the late 80s. My late grandmother, who ultimately died much later in life, was a survivor, breast cancer survivor as well. And so it's definitely something in our family that we've been aware of. And I can only imagine the stories that you listen to and have heard.
And it's what's really amazing now is, so ThriveWell, while we're super busy in October, we help anybody who's ever faced a diagnosis. We're not breast cancer specific, but the good that has come out of all of this is the financial assistance that we're able to help people with, because nobody has a savings account for cancer. I mean, it just becomes, it is financially catastrophic for most San Antonio families.
I think you bring up an interesting point too, because just to touch on, you just said it's not just for breast cancer. Because, for example, like my mother, again, leukemia, that's a blood cancer. I remember the astronomical bills and everything that happened. Thankfully, my dad, they had great insurance. But I do want to clarify that, because I think people think, October, it's all about breast cancer, but there's so many types of cancer.
Yep, and we've been able to, now we've been in existence since 2007. We were founded here in San Antonio. We are a solely local organization, and we've been able to walk with thousands of families at this point and get them on the other side of this disease. Because the good news now is that treatment has come so far and what's available to people, but only if you can access it and pay for it. And so we really try to step in and be that safety net for folks. So the working folks who have insurance, but just the deductibles and the copays are bananas. And it becomes, a lot of people make decisions about, I'm not going to go to treatment because I need to pay my light bill. And
that's right.
Is crazy.
How terrible is that?
It is.
And so that's where you guys come in. And I used to say it on the air all the time, especially during the telethon, and I can hear Yami Virgen now. Think of that cup of coffee at Starbucks, that Vice, whatever it is. Some people it's lottery tickets, or cigarettes, or the cup of coffee, or whatever the smoothies, whatever that is. Just give up 1 or 2 of those. Think about how much, and then maybe consider donating that on Thursday or whenever to the telethon. Yeah,
for sure. And that's what is so remarkable, really, about the telethon. But throughout the year, we have folks who, I'm going to give you $5 a month. So in addition to the financial assistance that we help people pay for their treatment, but we also provide transportation for folks. And many times that's an actual ride that we pay for patients to get to and from all the appointments. But we also are providing fuel assistance to folks who, you know, we're all feeling the increased cost of everything.
Yep.
But for fuel, it's really challenging to drive every day for 8 weeks to a radiation appointment.
Yeah.
So you have to drive to your appointment, you have to pay a copay, you're missing work. So this kind of perfect storm happens. And so a part of our transportation services, we give fuel cards to folks. And so that $5 every month is a tank of gas for somebody.
Because it can feel like you're getting nickel and dimed to death sometimes when you're doing all these things.
You got to pay for your parking every time you come.
Exactly. Yeah. Incidentals, as I like to call it. I read somewhere if you can give it a larger level, $100 will help provide a cancer patient with transportation for essentially a week.
Yep.
So you kind of put it in that perspective.
Yeah, for sure. It's because we are helping so many people now. We have these economies of scale, and so we contract with transportation companies all over the city, and they are kind of fleeted out, and they go pick up patients all over town and take them to their appointments and make sure they get to where they need to go and get back to work or go to home, wherever. So
one less thing the cancer patient and the family has to worry about.
Right. It's really about removing those barriers that stand in the way of people accessing their life-saving care.
Very good. Well put. Well put. ThriveWell.org is the website, by the way, if you'd like to find out more information. Maybe we've planted a seed so that when Thursday rolls around, whether you're a morning person or you watch the news in late day, chances are one of my anchor friends will be on. You pick up that phone and make a pledge or whatever that looks like on Thursday.
Well, and the other piece of this is, like you started at the beginning of all this, we all know somebody.
Yep.
And for many of us, it may be us at some point. So just remember that ThriveWell is here to take care of you. We are here to be of service to the community. If you know people who are struggling with their cancer journey, please call us. We want to help. So that's what we're raising money for.
Again, ThriveWell.org is the website. Erin Ercoline is the guest, the executive director at ThriveWell Cancer Foundation. The logo, the beautiful logo is back there behind us. Hopefully I'm not blocking it too much. How did ThriveWell come into your life?
So we were founded back in 2007 by a local oncologist. She practices at the Start Center for Cancer Care. Her name is Dr. Amy Lang. And she had this idea. She started talking to her patients about their challenges. You know, she would see a patient and maybe they weren't coming back as regularly as they needed to. And what she was finding is that people didn't have a reliable means of transportation. Right. They couldn't afford their copays. And so she felt compelled to do something. And from that started ThriveWell. And that was now almost 17 years ago. In addition to our patient assistance program, we also have what we call our Diva and Dude exercise and nutrition and wellness program. And essentially that's exactly what it is. We provide upwards of 60 exercise classes every week at 8 different locations across town. We have free nutrition, because the whole idea is as people are going through treatment and as they get on the other side of their treatment and go into remission, we want to keep them as healthy as they possibly can be. And if they move more and exercise and eat right, they're going to cut their chances of recurrence really significantly. And so that program is provided at absolutely no cost to anyone who has ever faced a diagnosis. It doesn't matter if you're 15 years out or if you're newly diagnosed, you can take advantage of that program. And it's really become this community of, it's a family. Yeah. It's become this community of people that totally get it. So everybody in those classes has either been through it or are in the middle of it, and they know the person exercising next to them, if they're struggling that day, they can have a conversation with them in a way that our spouses, our friends, our kids just don't get, you know. So it's become this remarkable community. And
you said that there is science behind the fact that if these patients or these people move around more, that it'll cut down on the chance for a reoccurrence. Yeah, so I
kind of explained it to people, 17 years ago when we were founded, that whole food is medicine thing was kind of new agey. And now it's like, well, no duh.
Right.
So not only with cancer, but with any chronic disease, right? We want to move more, we want to eat right, we want to consume the right things to ward off disease. But for cancer, it's really, really important to get that kind of information. And what I think is so cool about the program is that patients and survivors can then take those recipes, take that knowledge into their own homes, and it impacts the next generation. So folks who may be predisposed to cancer are getting this information early. So,
have you been here since day one?
I have been with the organization since 2012.
Did you have a personal connection to cancer, or what was it about this job? The organization, the job title, what was it about it that attracted you?
So I was not living in San Antonio at the time, knew I wanted to come home. And
you're from here?
I am from here. My dad was military, so went to high school here, moved away for about 20 years, always worked in the nonprofit sector. And when I was looking for a job in earnest, ThriveWell crossed my desk, and I was like, this looks like a really cool organization, and I loved the programming, but like most people, I have a very personal connection to this disease. I have lots of people in my family who have gone through it and are still with us, and many who are not.
Yeah.
And so I really felt like this is something I can fully get behind. And that I met with the board. We have an amazing group of people leading the organization. And so I just feel so lucky to be doing this work, and am humbled and honored every day to do it and to walk with these families as they're going through it.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to Judson. I'm a rocket.
You're a rocket.
Rocket from a bazillion years ago.
Rocket pride.
Yeah.
Come on, not that long ago. Come on.
Long time.
Do you remember though in your youth hearing of cancer, or do you recall the first time that's something that you even became aware of, or what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. My grandmother, she's a was a colon cancer survivor. She survived for almost 30 years.
Yeah,
we lost her a couple years ago at 95.
God bless her.
She went through it, stage 3. My great grandmother died from colon cancer, so we knew that this was definitely genetic and familial. And so my grandmother was really my first, and then aunts and uncles. But she was the first foyer into, oh my goodness, this is what this looks like, and how do you caretake for somebody, and just the number of doctor's appointments that come along with a diagnosis is really remarkable. So
and you don't even want to check the mail, because you know there's a bill in there, and you just open it with like your eyes like this. I mean, I remember again, just in my family, and thank goodness for insurance, but like you said, for those people that don't have it, you're making some just agonizing decisions sometimes.
Well, and I will tell you, Ernie, even now, people who feel like they have a really good insurance plan and feel like they have checked all the right boxes and done all the right things, they start getting these bills and they realize, oh my gosh, this is, I thought this was all going to be covered, and it's not.
Exactly what I remember, yes.
And then, you really have to start thinking about what are we going to do, know? So it's different. It's a challenge for most people. Yeah.
Do you have any sense on the numbers in terms of number of people you've impacted, the amount of money that you've dispersed out over the years, those kinds of things?
So by the end of 2023, we had provided over $12 million worth of financial assistance, and that's every penny of that went into taking care of a patient. Here locally through financial assistance, and that is because of the kindness and generosity most of the time of people who have gone through it and know, had they not had the resources, their story would have ended very differently. And so they just feel really passionately about helping other folks get through it. And we've been so lucky that way, and so blessed. And by them blessing us, we've been able to bless a lot of San Antonio families.
We were kind of talking in a little bit of a joke before we came on about your staff, because I remember not so long ago it was 3.
Yes.
I guess you've since doubled that.
Yes, we have. We've grown by 100%. So.
But like I said, still doing the work of 26 people probably. Yeah. But you still, you have a smile, and after these years, you still have a passion for it.
I love it. Yeah, because it is hope extension. There is all this hope that comes out of people being able to access their care. A diagnosis changes the trajectory of the lives of the people in that family. And thankfully, because treatment options have gotten so good, and screening, we're diagnosing people so much earlier if they can get screened, that cancer is no longer a death sentence. They're going to get on the other side of it. They just need to be able to get their care. And we are able to help them do that. So
obviously the technology has improved and everything, but from where you sit, you do feel like, the ultimate end goal, a world without cancer, that type of stuff, do you feel like it's trending in the right direction?
So I do, and I think it's on a very individual basis. I think that what is happening now in treatment and research is that they're realizing, and they've known this for decades at this point, but your DNA is different than my DNA.
Right.
And so the treatment that you're going to respond to is going to be different than what I'm going to respond to, even if we have the same diagnosis. And so it's really become this individualized treatment plan that has made people tolerate the treatment better. They're living longer. They're in remission and they are cured. And so I do believe that that's happening, and cures are happening at an individual level all over the place.
Fantastic. All right, couple more minutes
exciting.
here. It is very exciting. Thank goodness.
Yep.
A couple more minutes here with Erin Ercoline, because she's got stuff to do. It's October, after all. She's got a lot of things to do. If you could speak directly, I mean, I hate to say it, but probably as we speak, there's a family finding out about a terrible diagnosis in their family. If you could speak to those people directly in terms of the help that is needed, or in those immediate moments after they get that awful news, what should they know? What do they need to know?
That you have help here in San Antonio. Once you are able to process the diagnosis and figure out what the treatment plan is, reach out for help. Call us. We're at 210-593-5949. And we can help you walk through with your treatment facility who you need to be talking to on that end, and get you the help that you need. And if it's not transportation or financial, you absolutely should be connecting with our divas and dudes and building your community. And
I was just going to say, if you missed it earlier, she mentioned that these programs in many cases are open to people. You might have been diagnosed decades ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
But you can still take part in these things.
For sure. Yep. If you are interested in keeping your cancer at bay and just in engaging in a group of people who totally get it, that's where you need to be, for sure.
Goodness. How often do you come across kids and childhood cancers and those kinds of things? Because those are the stories that really just...
I know. Fortunately for pediatric cancer, there are a ton of resources available. And we come across it quite a bit, but thankfully within hospital systems and within practice systems, they have amazing support networks available for kids. Yeah. But
it's, again, ThriveWell.org is the website. For those of you who think there's no hope, and I can only imagine what you're going through, please know that there are resources. Again, we'll remind everybody, if you're just joining us here on Thursday of this week, is the annual telethon. I don't even know how many years I guess it's been probably more than a decade now that you guys have been doing, where they go on my former stomping grounds, Fox San Antonio News 4, and you will spend the better part of your Thursday there.
All day. Yeah, from 6 a.m. all the way through the late night evening news will be there.
Yeah. So maybe, as I always used to say, if there's a number that kind of tugs at your heart, or think about that Starbucks drink or whatever it is for you, and maybe apply that toward a donation. You'd be surprised, I think, how just a few dollars can go a long way.
Absolutely. And what's cool about the telethon is everybody answering those phones is a survivor. So you'll get to talk to people who, if you know somebody who's going through the journey and you just want to connect with people, call us that day. And you'll get somebody on the phone who has gone through it.
Okay. One more time, can we give some love to Lexus
Yes.
here? I want to remind everybody, I know there's a lot of Lexus owners out there, but they've provided some pretty cool swag here. You take your vehicle in to get serviced. And while you're walking by there, maybe you glance at one of these and you think, hey, you want to help out a little bit more. And you make a purchase, get some cool swag, and some of that money will come right back to ThriveWell. I was in the showroom the other day at the Lock Hill Selma location across from North Star Mall, and they got the gigantic pink bows.
Yes, and the guys wear pink, the sales guys.
And they're all wearing pink. I noticed that and everything.
It's a great initiative. It's really cool.
And you said something that's been going on for a while now. So
they are all in, which is really, really cool.
Well, it adds up. Again, with all those Lexus vehicles, it adds up. So if you've been putting off that maintenance call, like I said, electric cars don't have oil in them, so don't worry about it. I found out the hard way. But listen, I know it's a busy month for you, like I said. I really appreciate it. I know you and I go back a few years now. And I'd like to thank our buddy Karen Martinez, who's smiling on us today, and everybody else who's made that journey. But one more time, ThriveWell.org. There's the logo right there. If you'd like to help out anyway, whether it's financially, volunteering time, just anything like that, please know, like she said, there are resources and help out there for you. So
we're here for you.
Indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity. This has been fun.
Well, after I left the station, I mean, you're one of those people, like, we just didn't get to connect anymore, but see what we did today?
Yes.
Hopefully we've helped out. ThriveWell.org one more time if you'd like to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernie.
Erin Ercoline, a friend of the program for many, many years, and we appreciate all the efforts that she and her staff of 6 are doing. Not too far from where we are here in the medical center area, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, there's another episode of Pickup Lines. We'll be back again very soon. Have a fantastic day. Bye for now.